Hello everybody and welcome back to Saxlingham. So we have, just off camera, we have taken the windrower and the X-Track back, and they have now been delivered to the dealership. And we had a look through the selection of ploughs they had, and in the end we decided that a subsoiler would do the job and would be a lot easier, because you can square the fields off a lot better using a subsoiler than what you can do with a plough. So this is why we won with this. In an ideal world, we would have round up the field first to kill the grass off before we turned it over, or subsoiled it as we are doing. But unfortunately, we don't live in an ideal world. So this is going to be the first job of the day. It's only a small field, so we don't need to worry too much about that. And we will get cracked on and get this all worked. The last pass we should be able to, if I just go back up to here and drop on, we should be able to get the rest of this. And then if there's a lot of rented machinery at the minute, but we kind of have to just to get going, because we didn't acquire that many tools. But I forgot to tell you all, we bought a new front weight as well, so there's over a ton in that. I forget exactly how heavy it was, but right. We'll go return this, and then it's no, we want to just go drop our we've got to make a decision here, because we need to look at spreaders, and we need to have a look at, because obviously these will most likely need lime and fertilizer. How much, I don't know, but this is where I would like to get an Isaria Scout. But if we're getting one, if we're going to the dealership, because I don't want to keep going backwards and forwards, I think we should be getting two things, which will be able to get a spreader and the Isaria Scout, if we have both our front linkage and back linkage available. So we'll nip to the yard, drop the weight off there, and then make our way back to the store. It'll be just our luck that this is where we need the front weight, otherwise we're going to be doing a wheelie. But let's just hope and pray that that is not the case. So if we put that into here, just lower it down and take it off, and by the looks of it we are okay. But right, let's get this to the shop. We can return it then and look at our other items that we require. So right, we'll pull in. They haven't told me off just yet, but we'll park up here and let's have a run in, jump over here. Where are they? They're all gone. Do we have any catalogues anywhere that we can look through? Anything behind the desk? No? That's a bit strange, isn't it? Well, I'll probably just have to go have a sit down and wait. If not, have a look on my phone. So this is what we're looking at to get our soil data. We could buy it for 17 grand, but we only need to, I think it's every year or every couple of years we need to try. So let's just, if we lease it, £867, I think it's going to be cheaper for us to do it this way. So I want to lease that, and then what I want to then have a look at is spreaders. So when it comes to spreaders, this makes the most financial sense to us. So we're going to hopefully go on a hire purchase where if we put down a deposit of £11,150, in 1 year we will be paying a 5% interest rate. Well, that sounds very, very high. What would it be if we went to finance it? 9%. That's high as well. These deals do not work in our favour whatsoever. So the total price is $55,750. But if we do it at this, we're paying a total of $57, and there's no final fee if we go for this number one option. But if we lowered the deposit, that's interesting. So a lower deposit. Oh, hold on. We've now got this even cheaper. I think option one, 11,000, and we'll purchase that. And with buying that, it means that we can buy lime. So we'll have to go purchase some lime. I think that'll be the first thing that we'll need. So it's a 14,000 litre capacity. So if we bought 7 bags of lime, that should fill us. But right, we'll get out, we'll put the Isaria Scout on, and we'll put on our new spreader. So I can't see the spreader not paying us back. It doesn't make sense because there will be hopefully some fertilising contracts coming up, and if we can use it for that, that would be epic. Only problem is now is we're down to £6,000. We do have plenty of stuff in storage for us to sell at some point, but it's getting to that stage. But right, let's attach everything on, and we will have to ask the dealership whether we can borrow their forklift. Well, a Claas dealership with a Claas forklift. You wouldn't expect anything different, would you? But right, let's work on getting these now into our spreader. So let's get this first tine through. I would have thought we should be able to do 4 at a time. Obviously there's only 3 here at the minute. So if we can just... This isn't going well at all. Let's get these 3 in. If we lift this up, we'll have to load these from the back, I would have said. So straight over the top of our disc. I just want to be careful I don't want to damage them. So this is the first 3 going in, so that's 6,000 litres of lime for us. Almost. They're taking a bit of time to empty. Right, now we can go and get these other 4, which we will be able to go via the side to get these in to try not damage our spreading discs in any way, shape or form. So again, there we go, they've now dropped on. Like so. I have made that look very, very hard. Right, now from the side, just got to hope the lid opens. There's 2 emptying, now the other 2. Well, that should almost be one very full spreader. Brilliant. Right, we can go and... Do they want this putting back in the shed? Or can we leave it outside? I think we better just put it back in the shed just for now. So we'll leave this back in here. And I think it makes complete sense that the first shed that we go... the first field that we go to is to our grass field. And we can get that tested and then see what we need to put on it. So let's hop in. And let's be away. So my thinking is, because we're lower down here and close to the river, that because of that, I don't think this ground is going to be as good, which is why it does make sense that it will be good for grass. in my opinion. Otherwise I'd maybe just look to put some arable into here. But right, let's pull forward, and we can now test this bit. So there's one soil sample in. This may take 3, if not definitely 4. So let's test this bit. It's going to definitely be 4 samples, I think, here. Will be very interesting, because then, like I say, it gives us a good idea of how much of everything to put on. So in the end, we should be saving money. That's the idea. Save money, and get the biggest yield possible. And then we need to, at some point, we'll have to have a look at drilling. But this field prep, although it takes a lot of time and it costs a fair bit of money, it'll all be well worth it, sort of, in the end. So, the last bit here. And then once this is done, we will send our samples away. Right, let's send these away. And it'll be interesting to see how long it takes for these to come back. So whilst we wait, let's unfold this spreader and let's get ourselves ready, because it shouldn't take too long once they have them. Still nothing. And there we go, they're in. So let's now have a quick look at what they've come to. So this field is all loamy sand. So from what I gather, loamy sand and silty clay are the worst. Loam is the best, and sandy loam isn't so bad. Anyways, we can get this spread, and then once this is spread, we can go look at getting all the other fields sampled, and we'll bring you back as we send off the data. This certainly isn't going to be cheap. I just hope in the long run this will be very beneficial towards us and sort of our own sort of farming side of the job. We are going to have to get out and start doing some contracts to get some money in, because I'm a bit loath to sell the wheat, and when the silage is ready I'm a bit loath to sell that as well, especially when we can get a better price. But we will have some lime to spread, that is for certain. So the last little bit, let's take a sample of this, and then we can send this all off to the lab and see what soil we've got. I'm hoping with this slightly higher ground here that our soil gets better and better and better. So let's send these off and we will soon know what we have. So we can fold up the area Scout, go back onto our spreader, And same again, we can get unfolded. And whilst we are unfolded, we might as well get our GPS set up. One headland will be just fine. And yeah, now it's just a waiting game to get our results back, to know exactly how much lime we need to put on. And there we have it. So, loam, so field 38 is the best field for us, and field 39 isn't as great, but I'll take sandy loam over loamy sand and silty clay. But right, so if we come off there, we can now turn this on and we can get spreading and try get as much done as possible. We are going to run out of lime. We're never going to have enough in here to do this whole field, let alone all that one, I don't think. So what we will do is we'll buy plenty once the time comes. Well, enough for just shy of 4,000. We're going to have to take a loan. Enough to fill this up, and we can go get the pickup, and we can load the pickup trailer full of lime. I would like to also get some fertiliser, just in case we have some fertiliser contracts. Well, we're not going to be able to finish this field, that is for certain, with 1% left. So we will have to go and buy at least another 7 more bags. Oh, hold on, this is getting very close now. Let's turn that off there. 64 litres. Will 64 litres do this? Let's go to there, turn it on. Come on. This is going to be... Oh, that's so annoying. So close. But doesn't matter. We'll have to get some more. But what I do want to have a look at, I want to have a look at the online forums to see if there is any contracts available. Because if there is, with the remaining money that we've got, we'll buy some fertiliser instead, and then we can spread fert and then that should finance the lime. So there's 2 that I think I'm going to look at doing. So it's 9 acres and 5.5 acres. So we're looking at, well, 10 acres, let's say. So we're looking at 15.5 acres, and that will bring us in just over £11,000. Or we double it and go for 22. I think I would rather do the 2 different ones. So if we accept, and then we will accept field 50. Is that the one we bailed? No, I don't think so. No, it was. That's we bailed that field. We'll accept field 50, and then we now need to give the dealership a call and find out how much fertiliser we can buy. Wow. We can buy 2 bags just. So we're going to buy them whilst we've got them, and we're now down to £92. So we will have to make our way over to the dealership. We can return the Isaria Scout. We can load up with those 2 bags of fertiliser and then try to bring some money in again before we then go buy some more lime and get it spread onto that field there, and then that will be everything. All our fields done. And with this spreader we can start to make some serious money. So the first field we're looking for, it is directly in front of us, but we need to turn right and then I presume turn left up here, and this should take us to it. So what have they got in here? To be fair, it's a nice field to do, with it being so big and so straight. Right, let's get our GPS back on, like that. And what do they have in here? Sugar beet. So they have a nice field of sugar beet here that we're going to fertilise for them. So let's turn this on. We will crack on, get this done, get that other field done. We can then pull some money in, and once that money's in, we can afford to finish off our fields. Even doing this was getting quite tight, so we've got 1% of fertiliser left, and that's annoying. 99% to get this done. So if we just go into here, this should give us our percent, and we're all done. So we're going to have to go back to the yard now. We will have to empty out what is in here, and I think the way to the yard is we do a left here. Yeah, that's it, a left here, and then we can do a right down here. This is down the private driveway again, and then it should be our field. Yeah, you can see it's covered in limes. That's one of our fields. I better stay on the well, to be fair, I can cut across here to save going through everywhere. And then this is our wheat field, which needs to get a load of lime put onto it. But right, let's get back to this yard, and we can unload the 248 litres that we have left. So if we empty this little bit out here, we might as well, whilst we're here, we might as well call the dealership and make sure that they have 7 bags all ready for us. So let's buy these, and we will get ourselves up there and get loaded. And then once we're loaded, we can do the final field with lime, and then in the next episode, well, in the next vlog, let's say, we will be able to maybe look at drilling, because it'd be quite nice to be able to finally see some of our efforts come to fruition. And I've just realised we haven't cashed in our contracts, so because we haven't cashed them in, we're still on £92. So the first one, 7,235, and now the second one, 4,083. So let's try this again with the dealership. If we go on to here, lime, we want 7 bags. Let's buy. Brilliant. So there's £3,150. We'll get ourselves over there and get it loaded. So if we just pull around this side here, like so, we can then hop out, go find the telehandler, and we can make our way so that we can go spread a bit of lime. because that is about £6,300 in lime just to do all our, well, just to do this field, I should say, because we're on our second load of lime for here. So we've done 3 loads in total to almost £10,000 in lime. It's, you look at our contracts, we're just in double digits, and we're back down to 5,111, which is slightly worrying for the fact of we have 2 payments going out. I think there's one going out for the spreader and one going out for the rear mower. So we may just have to have a look to see what other contracts are out there to see whether we can just get enough money in the bank to go again. Because we could, if we wanted to, we could go do that really big fertiliser contract, which is 22,000, which would be lovely to have that amount of money in. But it's a fairly big thing. It's a fairly big job. It's just over there, to be fair. But right, before we forget, we have that tiny little piece over here to do, which should become, there it is, right in front of us. This is a lovely piece. It's such a hidden away field. It's lovely. So let's just sprinkle a bit onto there. Let's move up to this top bit. And we might as well put the GPS on to make sure we're as straight as possible. I love this little island that we have here. It's just a shame that we can't put any fish or anything like that in it, because that would be lovely with a fishing rod. Right, let's take this back down to the farmyard. So with our lime and fertiliser now out of the way, we will do one last job, which will be to jump onto here and get this washed off, because with it being brand new it seems very, very silly not to get it done. So our monthly cost there is 3,781. So if we said 4,000 just to play on the safe side, so it leaves us with 1,000 extra. So let's just do the tractor and we'll go have a look and see what, because I think we didn't use the higher finance, we used the other financing option. So we need to go just have a look on there and see what's left on the, well, not what's left, but what comes out per month. So let's put that back. I think it was the rear mower. So this is 2,331. So we're going to be about definitely £1,000 in debt. So we may just have to have a look and see if there is anything else that we could possibly do just to keep us out of the red and keep us in the black. Obviously those 2 fertilising contracts have been brilliant for they were brilliant for us, but it's just whether there's anything else that we can use. So we'll just reverse this in here. I'm not doing a very good job here at all. It's almost like I've never reversed a trailer in my life. But let's leave that there, and if we just have a quick flick to see what we have. So there is some bale wrapping jobs, which they won't take too much time. There is some baling jobs, but they'll take a long, oh, there's another 3,000. That may be that may be worth doing. What I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to accept that contract from David, and that can be something that we can get straight onto in the next episode. There's also mowing contracts, so we may even go and do them. They sound like a very, very good idea. Grass tedding, there's a whole heap of stuff that we can get on with. I think 29 as well. We will accept that, and there's plenty for us to go at now, and then that should see us through into our next month. But on that note, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the episode, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.